Okay, this is another IELTS question, and the topic is life in the 21st century is better compared to the previous century. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Give reasons for your answer and include relevant examples. So, give reasons for your answer in support of your opinion and give relevant examples from your experience. Now, this is again a brainstorming exercise, and ideally you should spend about 10 minutes to this so that you have enough ideas to write an answer in 30 minutes. Now, let us try to understand the question. Life in 21st century is better as compared to the previous century. So which is the previous century? It's the 20th century. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, the competition or the comparison, to be more appropriate, is between 21st century and the 20th century. Now, either you can say that 21st is better than 20th and give reasons in support of your opinion. Or you can say 20th was better than 21st and again give reasons in support of your argument. Or you can say both are appropriate or both are fine in their own senses. There are plus and minus in both, but in some sense 21st is better and in other senses 20th is better. So it entirely depends upon your brainstorming exercise how exactly you would like to proceed. Now I'm going to do this exercise from the perspective of 21st century. Let us say that 21st century is better. So how should your um, body paragraphs proceed? But before that, let us try to write a structure. There should be an introduction, which should contain a general statement plus your opinion. Now state the opinion clearly and mention the reasons. Mention the reasons in support of your opinion. Just mention these reasons. Now, in the body paragraph 1, you're supposed to discuss reason 1. Discuss reason number 1. In body paragraph 2, you have to discuss reason number 2. And finally, you have to write a conclusion. Okay? Now let us try to brainstorm some of the ideas. What is the one reason or reason number 1 that 21st century, is better than the previous century? What is the reason number 1? What could be one such reason? Well, there are a number of reasons. If you remember, if you have studied to some extent, and if you remember your books during school days, the beginning of 20th century was not too good for humanity. 20th century had a lot of conflicts. There were world wars and World War One, World War Two. There was a Great Depression. Okay, um, Britain was still the world power in the first half of the 20th century, and the United States was still grappling with a lot of poverty. So US was still not too strong a country, it was still a poor country, and in general the world was mired in the poverty. But what I have done in the sample answer is I've just taken not conflict but transport services. So transport was not as efficient as it is in 21st century. So 21st century in 21st century we have a number of transportation advancements. We have a number of transportation advancements, and as compared to 20th century, where transportation was still in a phase of innovation, and it was a very slow process. Moreover, it was not inclusive. I'm not discussed this in the essay, but it is an important point that it was not inclusive. Now, what do you mean by inclusive? Inclusive means that it is available to everyone, irrespective of the economic or social status. Now, in 21st century, most of the transport has become inclusive in nature. So you can board the buses, travel in bullet trains, irrespective of your social or economic status. It was not an option over here. It was still in 20th century a class thing. So you had to belong to a certain class, privileged class, in fact. I have not written this in the essay because of paucity of space, but there are a number of ideas that you can discuss to present that transportation services have indeed improved tremendously. So there has been a tremendous improvement once you move from 20th to 21st century. Tremendous improvement. Now let us move to reason number two. All right, over here, reason number two. Now, the 20th century there has been tremendous improvement in the field of medical science. The 20th century witnessed a number of diseases. The 20th century saw the onset of plague, malaria, a number of similar contagious diseases, communicable diseases as well as non communicable diseases. And there were little treatments available whatsoever. So though there were innovations because of onset of these diseases, there were almost no medical facilities available. Consequently, lifespan even in developed countries was pretty low. It was less than 50s. In about 50s, it was the average lifespan. So an average person was expected to live for about 50 years. This was life expectancy. This is again not discussed in detail in the essays because of paucity of time and the limitation on how much time you can spend in writing the answer. But if you choose to expand on this one, you can do a lot of work. In 21st century, there have been tremendous improvements, and that has really improved the quality of human life as well as the longevity. It has increased the longevity. So people are expected to live longer. People are living till the late 80s these years in the 21st century, and the quality of life has also improved. In longevity, you can mention that some of the people who suffered from heart diseases, they were not expected to live for long. Similarly, cancer patients, HIV patients were not expected to live for long. But with the advancements in the 21st century, people can live pretty long lives. Not only can they live longer lives, but also their quality of life has improved. So life has become, in general, through transport and through medical science, life has in general become pretty comfortable, and it has become, um, truly worth living. So, as compared to the previous century, life has indeed become better. Okay, so this is reason number two. So having covered both these reasons, along with not only the ideas, but also the explanation, and you can give a number of examples. The examples are also mentioned over here. Um, in transport, you can talk about the public transport, um, the speed of trains, or modern passenger vehicles. Even the infrastructure and the rail infrastructure has improved tremendously. So this can be taken as an example. In medical science, uh, plague, malaria, communicable diseases. All these are examples. So you have to combine reason 1 and reason 2 to write an introduction. You have to mention the reason. So combine 1 and 2 to write one sentence explaining the reasons or mentioning the reasons, I'm sorry, and then paraphrase them in the conclusion to create an effective essay. I hope you liked the video. Subscribe to the channel and keep updated with new and exciting videos. And you can drop me an email anytime at eltec@gmail.com. There's a link to the sample answer below this YouTube video. Please go to it, go through it, and you can submit your sample answer as well. Thank you for watching.